You know, video games have come a long way. We started off with Pong, and now we have whatever this is. For every gem of a game, there's a game that is so bad, so horrendous, that you just think, why did I even buy this? So myself, along with Sentimental Scorpion, will give our list with the top 10 worst games of all time.
These games are known for their horrendous nature in the video game market. Whether it be with awful controls, bad graphics, glitches, or whatever, this is our list for the top 10 worst video games of all time.
Have you ever thought to yourself, gee, I've always wanted to be a Japanese businessman? Well, now you can. Introducing Takeshi's Challenge.
This game was only released in Japan for the Super Famicom and is known as Kusoge in Japan, meaning shit game, and, well, we can see why.
Takeshi's Challenge has some dumb things you need to do. In order to go to the end, you have to do things like divorcing your wife, sing karaoke in the bar, and judge if it's right to eat Mormons. And I wish that was a joke. That is the thing in the game.
This game also has a stupid moment towards the end, where you have to uncover a map by either sitting in the sun and wait 10 minutes, or soak in water for an hour and then cry, yes, cry, into the microphone. Not only that, but the game is beyond difficult, with Yakuza members appearing everywhere you go.
The only redeeming factor is that this game can be pretty humorous. But please don't play this game. It's confusing, hard as hell, and a waste of time. Want to know how bad this game is? You can punch the guy at the title screen and get a game over before the game even begins. Just wonderful. Oh god, not this game. Shaq Fu has to be one of the worst concepts for a game ever. As a basketball fan, I love Shaquille O'Neal. He was a fun-loving guy, even if he was in some terrible movies. But if there was one thing I didn't want, was a game where he fights mutants.
Shaq Fu's major problem is the control. When you look at other fighting games like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, or Tekken, you need proper control. But Shaq Fu has input lag, and in a fighting game, this is a very big problem.
Shaq Fu as a game though was unneeded. Who asked for this? Who wanted this? No one! If I wanted to play as basketball superstar Shaquille O'Neal, I would play a basketball game like you'd expect. Not a game where I fight a mummy, zombie Shantae, and f***ing Skeletor. You'd think by 2013, people would take time with their games. But apparently, developer Eutechnics thought that Ride to Hell Retribution would be fine on its own. And what we are left with is a poor, abysmal excuse of a game.
For one, the voice acting is absolute shit. Actors sound so bored in some of their lines, and it comes off as laughable. Secondly, the amount of bugs is insane. There is a big chance that while driving your motorcycle, you will fall straight through the road because of lack of solid textures.
But if there's one thing I don't like about this game, is the use of women in this game. This game will make feminists absolutely furious. Women are treated like objects in this game. Once you help them out, you get unpleasant, boring, fully clothed sex. Their facial expressions don't even change. Who wants to look at this?
But the horror isn't over. There are apparently 2 more games in the works. Yep.
2 more? Who would even want 2 games out of this garbage?
Dude, you need to calm down.
I am calm!
Look, let's just move on. The Legend of Zelda is one of Nintendo's greatest franchises, going strong for 30 years now. However, during the 90s, Nintendo and Sony wanted to make a CD-based add-on for Super Nintendo, but it didn't work out.
However, Nintendo struck a deal with Philips, allowing them to make games starring their Nintendo heroes. And as such, we got what people call the unholy triforce of the Zelda series. The Zelda CDI games, Link the Faces of Evil, Zelda the Wand of Gamelon, and Zelda's Adventure.
Link the Faces of Evil and Zelda the Wand of Gamelon are 2D side-scrollers with ugly cutscenes, voice acting, controls, and the abysmal ruby grinding. And no, that wasn't Payday's scripting that screwed that up. They call them rubies. not rupees.
Zelda's Adventure looks more like the original Zelda game, except with stupid menu controls, even more atrocious voice acting, and confusing as all hell graphics. Sometimes you need to go in a cave, but it looks just like the rocks around them.
These games are just downright awful. We, along Zelda fans and even Nintendo, don't consider these Zelda games. These games are absolutely atrocious, and it's no wonder they're ridiculed.
The Matrix trilogy was a fantastic set of movies. It combines great action and characters and is considered one of the greatest trilogies in film history. Well, how about we make an Asian-themed Matrix? Oh wait, we have Drake and the 99 Dragons to tell us not to do that.
The main problem with this game is the awful camera. It never wants to work in your favor and only will when it feels like it. Along with the terrible controls, this is simply annoying to play. The auto-aim seems inconsistent, the reticle never shows up, and as such you'll end up missing your target all the time.
Not to mention, this game has some of the most awkward wall running mechanics ever. If you want to look at a game that did wall running better before this game, you look at Prince of Persia. But in this game, it is downright awkward to do. Oh yeah, the story sucks too. That is all.
It's really hard to play this game due to the annoyances we mentioned. So our advice is, don't play this game and just watch the Matrix movies.
Oh no.
What? What's wrong?
Superman 64.
Damn it.
This game absolutely ruined my childhood. I owned this game growing up, and I have to say that Superman 64 has to be one of the worst games ever.
Problem number 1? Precise as controls. A slight tap on the analog stick and Superman zips along that direction. And considering that most of the game you're flying through rings, this makes Superman 64 a rage-inducing game from the very beginning.
Problem number 2. Ugly graphics. This game does not look pleasant at all. Superman is terribly modeled, buildings look like cardboard cutouts, and enemies are basic with no variety thrown in.
Problem number 3. Glitchy as The amount of clipping, objects getting stuck, bugged punching, and other problems make this game downright unplayable. This game is an absolute disgrace.
Hey kids, want to hear of a great video game along the lines of Super Mario World, Sonic 3, and Crash Bandicoot? Well, his name is Bubsy 3D. It's not good, I lied.
Bubsy 3D is a joke amongst the gaming market. It combines a lot of things wrong with the game, with terrible, stiff controls, ugly basic graphics, and lack of general direction.
This game looks unfinished in its purest form. This game looks like a project a college kid made for a game programming class. His first project. Bubsy's voice is also ear-grating as f***, and you don't want to know the sad thing? This is Lonnie Manella! The same voice for Ivy Valentine in Soul Calibur, Bruce the Bat in the Sonic series, and Lucas in Smash Brothers.
I mean, if you're curious to see how bad games can be, just look at this game. It can show you what happens when you rush games out of the gate.
I'm not a huge fan of racing games. Sure, I love Mario Kart and such, but other racing games are just boring to me. And our number 3 belongs to the biggest reason why I don't like them. Big rigs, over-the-road racing.
Can we even consider this a game? I mean, you control a vehicle, but there's no fun in racing. It's much more fun to laugh at the lack of collision detection.
This game is an unfinished physics engine, and as such, you can clip through practically anything. Bridges, buildings, terrain, nothing stops this thing.
Not only that, but if you go in reverse, this thing can become Sonic the Hedgehog and roll around at the speed of sound in reverse. But that's not all. Let go of down in reverse, and your car just comes to an immediate halt.
The car you race doesn't even move. It has no proper AI and just sits there at the start of the race. There is no fun in this game.
But there's something important in this whole game, though.
Oh? And what's that?
Your winner!
Fuck you. As many of you know, I'm a huge Sonic fan. So when I saw Sonic 06, I thought it was okay. I admit, it's got a ton of problems, but I can still have fun with it. Sonic Boom, however, pissed me the f*** off.
Sonic Boom is one of the key factors as to why the franchise is bombing. Sonic Boom contains so many issues. Awful frame rate, boring atmospheres, terrible controls, standard and uninspired fighting, and abysmal music for a member of the Sonic series.
But my main gripe with this game is that this game slapped me in the face when it came out. When I saw the characters, I was interested. When I saw the gameplay, I was excited as it looked like Sonic Unleashed, which is one of my favorite games in the series. But this game utterly broke me. I felt betrayed by how awful this game was. I felt like a f***ing fool. In fact, the only thing positive I can think of is the voice acting. It's probably the best in the franchise. But this game, however, I deem it worse than Sonic 06, and that's why I think it's the worst game of all time.
You realize this is number 2, right?
Westerns. They're interesting to say the least. I used to get a kick out of Walker, Texas Ranger, and Clint Eastwood movies, and I've always wanted a good Western-themed game. Unfortunately, I wouldn't get that until 2010 with Red Dead Redemption, but developer Delta 4 Interactive tried with The Town with No Name.
I don't know what to make of this. This game is just flat out ugly. The cutscenes look like they're rendered in MS Paint. The gameplay is absolutely dull, and the voice acting may be the worst I've ever heard.
Sure is a quiet town. Not many people.
There are a great many people, stranger, but most of them are dead.
Next you'll be telling me you don't like strangers round here.
The plot of the game is absolutely ridiculous. You're a drifter who accidentally gets into a scuffle with the town's gang, and you found out at the end that you've been in the wrong town the whole time.
Despite this game being the worst thing we've ever seen, we'll give it one thing. The terrible voice acting and animation can make you laugh. However, this game is still absolutely awful, and that's why it is the worst game of all time. I'm Payday045.
And I'm Sentimental Scorpion. Oh, and Payday?
Yeah?
Give me a drink, bartender.
You. The Matrix trilogy was a fantastic set of movies. It combines great action and characters and is considered one of the greatest trilogies in film history. Well, how about we make an Asian-themed one? Oh, fuck, I read that wrong.
The Legend of Zelda is one of Nintendo's greatest franchises. Franchises? French ISIS? French ISIS? The hell am I saying?
This game looks unfinished in its purest form. This game looks like a project a college kid made for a game programming class. Fucking.
Can we even consider this a game? I mean, you control a vehicle, but there's no fun in racing if the... If I can read... Ah! And I'm sentimental to... Fucking up my own name, god damn!